Hello everyone, back again doing a driving video. I've got a decent amount of drive here, so let's get going on a video. Before I get started, I want to let everyone know what's going on around us. Alright, sorry, I ran into someone there. Okay, so locally, what's going on is electrical outages and whatnot. So, we're going to talk about this whole situation. First thing I want to recommend right now is go to YouTube and check out A Call for an Uprising. That's A Call for an Uprising. He's got multiple channels. Go check him out. He's been talking about all this stuff for many years. A lot of good advice videos, exposing the system, exposing all the celebrities that are worshipped, to mind control, to weather manipulation, to things in injections, to things in food, to things dropping from planes, to everything he's basically said was true since 2016. And all of his channels are good, and all of them have different content and so forth. He's been exposing the whole food system. He's exposed every little thing that's going on, why it's happening, who really runs things around the world, etc., etc. So, there we go. So yeah, go ahead, pause my video, and go check out all of his content. Go subscribe to every channel. There should be 5 or 6 of them at least. Go subscribe to every one of them, just in case, because they go down all the time, because YouTube sucks. There you go. Can I get flagged for that? It's just an opinion, so I mean, I know we're not allowed to really have opinions, but there you go. So, let's get into the electrical issues. We're having power outages, and according to our great news, CBS or whatever, are talking about it, which of course they talk about it afterwards, even though they said ahead of time on news stations that we'd be losing power and whatnot. Between people not knowing stuff, people not thinking, and so forth like that, we're in this position, and we're deep in the position, so we need to get out of it now. Not tomorrow. Let's get it done now. As much as we can possibly control, let's get that done right now. So, what we're going to do is, first thing we can do is understand the system and so forth. And if you can't understand the system, especially after watching multiple Call for an Uprising videos, I don't know how else I can explain it to you. He's the best channel on YouTube, bar none. I don't care. It is what it is. So, basically, I've explained about that. First thing we can do, specifically, whether you understand the system and so forth, is you can go and buy up a bunch of resources. As many bottles of water, canning jars, food, blankets, heating, cooling, etc. They've been telling us for many, many years about how we're going to lose electricity, how we're not going to have water, we're not going to have food, we're not going to have jobs, we're not going to have land, we're not going to own anything and be happy. But we're in the position right now where the government's screwing with their people, every single government around the world, because they all work together. But, like I said, I don't have time to elaborate on every little thing. So, what I need you to do is, if you're not understanding me, go check out A Call for an Uprising, especially the new videos on his one channel that would have came out like yesterday, as in March 13th, 14th. Go check out those videos and just go down the line and watch as many of them that you can. Listen to them, share with the other people, explain to them this situation, and we can do it. Today's going to be a fun day now that we lost all this power and so forth. I'm going to be going doing a lot of talking today, let's just say, and whatnot. I say this stuff every day to as many people as I can get to, more or less. And it's on them after that. Tell them as much as you can. I tell people specifically to save water bottles and that type of deal, because once they have electric outages and stuff, and you have water bottles or any type of container that you can put water in, you can at least flush your toilets and so forth. But people don't think like that. Think of all the milk gallons and stuff that people just throw away. And that's on them. They should have thought of that. They can stack all kinds of stuff up. You can get boxes, get whatever you need. You can get water bottles. After you drink the water bottles, refill them. I'm talking have hundreds, thousands if you can. Whatever you can fit. You got an empty basement, you got an empty shed, you got an empty car, you got an empty trunk, you got an empty room, you got anything. An empty cabinet, empty fridge. You can use, like little water bottles are fine. You can use juice bottles, you can use milk bottles, you can use anything that really has a lid and whatnot. Canning jars. You can use your detergent or whatever. Put water in that. You're not drinking the water anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can use soap, like dish soap. You can use sauce bottles. You can use peanut butter jars, jelly jars, butter jars. Come on, like this is common sense, guys. Like, I shouldn't have to explain this. The point is the main focus, and then you can figure out all the things you have around you that you can use and what you can get. And I mean get it now, as quickly as physically possible. Get it today. I've been saying this for many years. I've been explaining to people around me. They do what they're going to do. But even our news and stuff is telling us, because that's how they work. They tell us ahead of time what they're going to do to us, because the news works with the governments around the world, etc., etc. We don't have to go into all that right now. Let's focus on one little thing at a time. But that's how they know. The news only tells you things to deflect off things. They make comedy out of things to make everything look like a joke. They make everything that's a joke serious, and everything that's serious is a joke. It's mind control. So, you can deflect off many different things. But this is just the first little thing. We're going to keep seeing gas prices. We're going to see the banks go down. And once the banks go down, banks and electricity in general, I would say within the next year or so. Maybe this winter, maybe this summer. Who knows? You need to be prepared for it like it's today, though. And all the money you have in your bank accounts, you better get out. Get as much as physically possible out of your bank account and start keeping money to yourself, and don't tell anyone you have it. Don't tell people you have resources. None of that. You can teach people and whatnot, but you don't have to tell them that you have anything. Just tell them, I need to, a good idea would be to get a bunch of resources, food, water, batteries, anything that you can possibly get for non-electronic use and whatnot. And don't tell them that you have food and resources, because once something goes down and there's no electric and people are starving, they'll come after you and they'll say, I remember this guy was telling me he had all that kind of stuff. But, like I said, there's ways of doing things. And don't assume that someone won't understand you, but they won't care, they won't have time for you or whatnot. Don't even fall for any of that stuff. We got lanes down, whatnot. We got drivers driving crazy because the stoplights and stuff are down. It's like people don't know how to do anything for themselves. They need a light, they need electricity, they need all these different things to work for them. We're talking an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, which would blow up everything. Would mean, not literally blow up, but I mean electricity-wise, you would have no use for a car or anything electronic. You wouldn't have your money, because bank accounts, stuff like that. You wouldn't be able to go to stores to get resources and so forth. All your cards wouldn't work. Your checks that come in the mail, your checks that come to the bank, however you get them. Your Cash App, all that garbage, that wouldn't work. Your phone wouldn't work. Your chargers wouldn't work. Your TVs wouldn't work. Your video games wouldn't work. None of it. radio. So I'm very serious about all this. I'm trying to get everyone to think about this kind of thing before it becomes too big of a deal, and then we're all basically screwed. And I would hope that people would be helping each other out. And here's a big, big part of the system. Once they do that, they're going to get everyone used to having nothing and whatnot. And then they'll give people stuff that'll be poison, that'll be dangerous. They'll make it normalized that people will have to take the quote-unquote mark of the beast, things inside of the body, the technology in the body, take your resources eventually. You know, we're not supposed to be on this earth. You know, literally, figuratively, whatever. In many books they talk about, there's many books that talk about how the population needs to fall under 500 million, and we're at 8 billion. So what they're doing in general, all the governments around the world, all the acronym agencies, the CDC, the WOH, the EFW, you know, these ones, the economic, the food, the drug, the control center, DCC, I gotta scramble the letters, the BFI, the ICA, all of these people, they know about mind control, and they know about the giving and take, how it traumatizes people, and how they've watched us for many, many years, and know our strengths and weaknesses, and how we don't question things, we don't question authority, we don't do anything about things, people aren't helping each other out, and so forth. But what they're going to do is they're going to get people used to not having things, and between not having things, eventually they'll say, well, I need something, and the government will come around and say, I got food for you, I got this and that. Well, you never want the government to come and help you. You never want to be in the position where you need help from the governments or what have you, because what they're going to do is they're going to give you poison. You're basically under someone else's control at that point. They're already getting people used to living in cell blocks and whatnot, basically. Little rooms with 7 to 8 strangers, and people pay for this. People are paying for these things. Have you ever heard of a FEMA camp? They're going to be ready for all that. Why do you think all these medical centers pop up and whatnot? I've even talked to people that aren't awake as much as me, and they understand things that I haven't thought of, like all these medical centers that pop up, and people are just like, oh, that's good. It's just because healthcare is booming right now. Well, there's a lot of reason why healthcare is booming, because all the chemicals in the food and the air and etc. But they need places to shove people in. They don't have enough room for jails, because they've already made people's homes a jail cell and whatnot. But you have a little bit of freedom on that. They don't want anybody to live self-sufficiently. They want them to be watched. They want things in their body so they can be controlled and hacked and watched and everything else under the sun. It's very deep and whatnot. So I'm just throwing out a bunch of different things for people to understand and whatnot. And this should come pretty simple to people. It's bigger than people can imagine. You know, you start with the brain control and stuff like that. Literally how they studied the brain, and they've done stuff back in the 40s and so forth. And in the military, the wars and stuff like that, they were doing tests on people and their brains and so forth. About MK Ultra mind control and that type of deal. They traumatize the victims, and you know, just like prisoners of war and that type of thing. And then once the story, you know, of the wars or whatnot, which were all, I'm sure, faked and whatnot, anywho, once those ended, quote unquote, they brought all those doctors and whatnot over to the United States, and they changed everybody's mindset about everything with that. They told people to eat things that they shouldn't be eating, and not get the nutritions that they should be getting, and so forth like that. And not to care about each other, and, you know, recluse yourself from everybody, and have a problem with every single person, and not to buy extra goods because you're a bad person for that, and believe everything that's on the TV and believe that we pick our leaders and so forth. And don't look into your Masonic temples and so forth in your towns, even though they're in every town. Don't look at the celebrities and whatnot with all their occultic symbolism and all that. Don't look at the history of libel and stuff like that. Liable. You know, about what has happened to these type of people around the world that have been kicked out of many countries hundreds of years ago. But now these type of people, they hide underground and they own all the resources and stuff, so nothing really ever comes out. And how they use their pawns and whatnot how they use their pawns against everyone to get them to believe things or not believe things that are actually relevant and matter. So it's a lot. There's a lot of different things to go into. Like, just look at something, please. Look at the shortages and the prices and stuff all on purpose. Just listen to what I'm saying and think about it and go look into things about how there's so many different food shortages and all the different things that people are covering, from chicken to eggs to rice to gasoline to concrete to fertilizer to water to food to electric to gas to taxes, all this different thing, to land. All the land and whatnot is being bought up, so people can't buy it. Not to mention you have to pay land taxes, and you have to pay to hunt, you have to pay to fish, you have to have this and that for this and that. And people really need to start understanding what's actually going on around them, because it's not a pretty picture and it's not getting any better. So people need to learn to be self-sufficient. If you have an ability to grow food, then go do it. I think everybody pretty much should have the access to grow food and so forth. Get you some, gardening techniques and so forth. Oh yes, of course the road's closed here. Some of us have jobs to do. But yeah, you can grow food in your own house and so forth with gardening and that type of deal. You have water. That's another reason to get sink water and stuff like that for growing food in your home. You've got a windowsill, take your plants outside, let them get some rainwater. You can collect rainwater, whether they say you're allowed to or not. Tell them to kick rocks if they don't like it. People need to be real serious about this kind of stuff. I don't like talking about other things besides this. I know what's happening, I know what's coming and so forth, and I'm trying to teach as many people as I can. I don't care if people want to hear it or not. I keep talking. Something will sink into their brain. They don't really even have to understand the system. They can understand a little bit. Understand, you need resources, you need food. Is that common sense enough for people? Come on now. It's not too hard. And you have the ability to buy and everything else right now. So that's what you need to be doing. I'm not trying to lecture people. I'm just trying to get people to think and teach them before it's too late. And we have massive outages that the TV even says that there's over 20,000 outages in 4 counties nearby. That should tell you more than enough. Maybe the only thing you're ever going to really hear, because they're talking about local too. They're idiots and whatnot too, I'm sure. Masons and secret societies and bloodline members and all that kind of stuff too, I'm sure. They got their jobs from who they knew and so forth. They don't know any better because they're too stupid to figure anything out for themselves. They believe everything. Oh, conspiracy theory. Ha 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 ha. You must be one of those type of people that the CIA made afraid so normal people wouldn't think about anything that's real or mattered, just what the TV told them. People beeping at each other. People are nuts. And this is just the beginning, everybody. I think these people are wild now. They don't even know how to drive. They cut everybody off and so forth. See if electricity comes on by tomorrow. There's certain lights that are out and certain lights that aren't. There's a lot of trees down and so forth. This is bad. I think with weather modification and stuff like that, they can't do this kind of stuff to people. You know, that's a form of trauma. You think they're going to just come and lock everyone up and whatnot? You think people are going to have that? There's a lot more of us people, the average person, than people who are in the system and whatnot. Just because they control our resources and so forth doesn't mean they're anything. We're their bosses. They're supposed to be working for us. All these rich people that people idolize, and all these celebrities, and all these people that own big business. Because you can't ever get to these positions anyways, unless you're part of the system. Unless you're fine with the mass death of people and so forth, which I am not. So I'm never going to be part of this. So I'm going to keep on talking and exposing these people. Just like it says in the Bible about exposing what's done in darkness. You better be exposing what's done in darkness, because what's done in darkness has came to light. What's done in darkness is the reason why we don't have resources and that kind of thing. All these different topics that I can go into. You know, rewatch my video if you need to. Comment. Put some comments in the comment section. Go through my channel and look through videos. Go look up the Call for an Uprising. Like I've said, Call for an Uprising on YouTube. It's the best channel out there. Best 5 to 10 channels, however many he has. And you can record his videos and put them on TikTok, put them on YouTube, put them on Twitter, put them on Facebook. Who cares if they say it's false information or they take them down? Mass record them. That's what I do right now at home. I have them, 2 of my devices I'm recording. You know, I have a device and a phone or whatever. I can record through my phone on the device or record the device with my, whatever. You have a laptop, record your laptop. Use your phone to record, use your laptop to record, whatever you need to do. We need to get the message out. And there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who understand this stuff. There's not millions, there's not billions. They believe what they're told. And it's the wrong way to look at things. Here we go, we're getting close to a highway now. A real highway. 55, 60 miles an hour highway. I don't know if any electricity's on out here. Gotta see what electric's on. I'm sure these big businesses have generators and stuff. They better. You know, if you can get a generator, buy a generator. Buy up as much gas as you can so you can use your generator all the time. It's very common sense things that you actually need. You don't need stuff to make yourself look good, or fancy clothes, or this or that. It's not that hard of a concept for people. But the people who stumble on a video like this might never understand what I'm saying. And that's fine, whatever. But understand you need your resources and so forth, because the massive attack has started long time ago. And now they're just up in your face about everything. The prices, the shortages, the jobs, the land being taken, the land being bought out. You can't buy things, you can't sell things, you can't work like you want to. You don't get to make your own decisions. People are turning on each other. People are secluding themselves. They don't think about others. They don't get in contact with their friends and whatnot, etc., etc. And it's really just a shame. Every person is responsible for themselves, for everyone else, for this system to not completely destroy everything, which is what they're trying to do, which they've been trying to do for many years, many decades, many generations. They just had to figure out how to do it. And now they understand how the brain works and how to traumatize someone. You give them something, you take it back. You traumatize them, and then you make them feel good, and then you traumatize them 10 times worse. Just like all this stuff with covering our faces, getting injections, and all this other garbage that we've been spewed on, what we're supposed to be doing. And the whole mental mindset of you're a good person if you follow what you're told. No, you're an idiot if you follow what you're told. And you're going to get in massive issues for doing what you're told. Anyone who's teaching people not to talk, or they're scared, or they're crying all the time, or they don't want to learn, or so forth, the blood's going to be on their hands. And those type of people are the type of people who have no skills whatsoever to survive. They don't know how to stockpile, they don't know how to grow their own food, etc. They don't know how to get along with people. So this should be interesting to see. Oh yeah, we got lights out up here. Imagine when this happens all the time. This isn't even an EMP, this is just a basic outage. So this should be a very interesting day. I don't know if stores are open, or, you know, unless some of these bigger ones might have generators and stuff. Otherwise, they might be closed today. I'm trying to drive around here with no lights and electricity and so forth. You'd think people would be out buying resources, but it doesn't look too busy today at any of these stores I'm passing by. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We're about to go find out. Gotta really watch for people when they're basically traumatized by all this, like I've said, and they don't know what they're doing, how to think or anything. So let's see what's going on. Alright, well, thanks for checking out the video. Like I said, go check out A Call for an Uprising, go watch my videos. It all makes sense. Put as much time as you can into it, teach other people, do things self-sufficient. And have a good day. Thank you.